are back with my two young entrepreneurs, and I'm just very concerned about. They talk about you're not what. What are you doing to build ladies, guys? Killing a pressure ganyan. How many ladies in your company out of the 25?
17. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when
We won. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, should I reason for that?
No, you don't have to have a reason. I just want to know, when are you increasing the women?
You know, our everyday job requires certain strength. Ne?
Okay. Physically.
So, yeah. And from a man's side of things, how I associated men to my environment of working, they have energy that is enough for what we're doing.
Okay.
So women are people who are sensitive, so they have emotions and stuff. So part of our leadership style is not gonna really do well with them because of the way we work. We work in a military style because we don't even back one another.
The military has women.
Yeah, regardless. But first of all, our bread pans are much more heavier, and then working with women, we'll have to sincere those, and then it will be difficult for us to accommodate them at the state that where we are. So we're now trying to increase.
One day.
Yeah, at least to focus it on you. Tilling and everything, so we can bring the tension down. Mouting in 20 of George.
Yeah. So you both described what legacy is to you, and what I want to know from a financial point of view. Obviously, they're all mutually. That's our business. What is it that you are doing now to prepare yourself for the future, financially? So, Tokologo, I spoke to both of you on Friday in a separate conversation, and you both said, well, we're not there to do the everyday business, but I can't think of Christopher Africa without seeing your face.
Yeah.
Shareholder or not. I can't think of Borotho without thinking of Refiloe. So what is it that you are doing to make sure that, come what may, whatever detours, and like I said also on Friday, detours don't have to be negative.
Sure.
It can be a positive detour where, you add a woman to your family called a daughter, that maybe it wasn't a plan, and so you want to, you focus less at home. Less at the office and more at home because you want to, raise your child. So what is it that you are doing, or what have you got in place right now to help you prepare for that?
Oh, I'm first this time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, firstly, being young is a huge advantage. Being young and having the mentors that probably you have as well, but also the mentors I have. Because, so what I'm doing now, for example, the insight and clarity that they've helped to give me is time, number one, is an asset.
Yeah.
Okay, and we all have the same amount of it. Fortunately, I have more of it than most of them. And I should use that asset to build other assets. So for me, it's business assets that make money for me without me having to work. Okay, and I believe more in creating businesses. So other people will invest in properties and things like that. I honestly don't have the patience for properties personally. So it is other people's investment philosophy. Mine is that it takes too long. The yields are not enough, like little month on month, versus a business can be scalable, global, so the upside is way bigger. So I'm not the safe type. I'm more of the risk guy. So in Old Mutual, I'll be the equities guy. I'll be like, put all my money there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's using my time wisely to duplicate other successful businesses. So Christopher is one. Okay, so Christopher, I can rely on it. It pays me a salary every month for sure, guaranteed. So meaning I can do things like have an Ellen Gray retirement annuity. I can have an offshore dollar endowment fund that the salary takes care of. And it's about just building other businesses that can do that, so that consistently there's money coming in from my assets.
What have you got from a risk perspective?
From a
risk perspective. So your cool car downstairs, it's insured, right?
Yeah, everything's insured.
Are you insured?
Yeah. So I have. So we have an advisor that advises the whole group. So we have group life and disability covers.
I wish Mapalo was sitting here with us.
Yeah.
I wish I wish. But anyway,
Everything
keep
of
going,
mine
keep
is
going.
insured.
Yeah.
And I mean, disability as well. So if something happens to me,
Great.
you know,
Okay.
that cover does cover all of those things. So I am insured on those fronts. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned disability, which is good. So we're very happy to hear that. Buena? Refiloe?
You know,
So on Friday we were sitting, and I think Pumza in my team said, if you think about it, you are an asset to your business. You may not be there every day, but you are an asset. Do you understand? So the dreaming sits with you, the visioning sits with you, the missioning and pushing the mission, and what if you put one of your till lady that you mentioned here, and we had to interview her about Borotho, she's not going to have the same amount of passion and the same amount of dreaming and the scalability of that dream, right? So even though, yes, you've equipped people to do what they need to do on a day-to-day basis, you are still the key asset to their business. Do you see yourself that way?
I do, and it's both safe and dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
So obvious, when you started business, we have certain intentions, and after a certain period of time, the intention changes, or you learn new things, and you try to mix the two and see what you gonna subtract out of that, whatever the case it may be. So my name is not gonna be removed from the business. It's not gonna happen because I'm gonna be there whether the business dies or succeed. But the route that I'm a little bit trying to take is that I share responsibilities with the capable people of the team. And then the way my leadership style, I'm more of a democratic person than bossy, whatever the case it may be. So we can create another leaders into the business. So because it's so important for all of us, because of I'm not going to be here forever, I may die anytime soon. So I always check my impact to existence of life by what we've been able to achieve after whatever period of time. So I try by all means to share the vision with the people in the business.
But let's say tomorrow, I mean, your story is being shared like wide, right? And you Kimang Tato Oliwa Microsoft, Bill Gates. Bill Gates comes and says, listen, I've been watching you for the last 3 weeks, following you on Instagram and whatnot, and I love what you're doing. I really think you'll get so much out of a course called Oxford University. And it's going to be grueling. It's going to be there for a year. You're going to be classes and networking and all of those things, right? So you come back. You come back with that knowledge, and that's great. But the question that I guess I'm trying to probe is, what happens then to you as the asset? Because right now you are building. I get you are building, and yes, you encourage them. You want to duplicate yourself and all of those things. But when you are away from your business for a year, or if let's say it's not a positive detour, it's something like, you get an illness for whatever reason, and you cannot make the decisions like you're making them now. How do you foresee your business surviving that, or what do you have in place to help your business to keep going?
When you start a small business, most of the time you do everything by your own. So because of you don't wanna use too much cost for things that they don't matter, but they do matter the most. So I don't limit myself in terms of getting information or education from different people from any walks of life. So as much as I read too much books, I come across certain things that may happen in life, whatever the case it may be. So recently we just signed with a certain accountant firm. So they're gonna handle our finances in our books. So I'm gonna be a person who's taking orders from somebody who handles finances. So at least I'm gonna be getting external education from somebody who understands the numbers, because of as much as I run the business, I have the vision, I don't know everything about business. So at the same time, I'm not running a bakery, I'm running a food manufacturing business. So there's you need to distinguish the two. Many people, they don't understand, like, we produce food, we manufacture this thing. So you need to understand what is needed in this industry. So you need to put expertise to what we're doing. So there's another company that I'm not going to mention. So we just sign with them that they're gonna provide us with all the skills from inside, which how do you expand the bakery in terms of professional way of doing things. So I don't need to be there as everyday basis. So we must put the system in place. So when you run the business, you must finalize or structure the system that can generate and duplicate this thing that you do on everyday basis. So meaning I can stay as distant as I can be. So I know if these things are in place, this is what we expect in return. So by so doing, I'm actually having the helicopter view or the eagle view of what I'm doing. So my people can run around, but there must be the system that they abide to it, so this business can expand a little bit easier as compared to when I'm inside doing things, because I may disappear anytime like any other person. Or there may be things that take me off the business. So we're trying to finalize the structure, because of that's where the success of business is. You need to put the structure in the business so things can go as easy as planned.
I'm going to ask you a question that might
Wonderful.
be dangerous for me to ask as an employee of one of the top 3 insurers in the country. What is your view of insurance?
You see, I keep bicycling, but
I know. That's why I said it could be very controversial, but it's fine. Give us your view.
when like the people that I've employed in my business, they need to feel like they're in a workplace. They need to feel respected and honored at all the time. So I was on your website, I think it's 2 weeks ago. There's this thing that you guys provide. I don't know, it's SME something. So where I need to put staff saga, cover them, and whatever the case it may be. So that's the direction that I'm taking for this business with the people that I'm working with. At the same time, I was comparing these insurers, zasekasi, this good, how can they cover our asset that we have in business? If something can happen, maybe gyasha, whatever. So how can they cover us with what cost? So that's the direction that I'm taking. So I'm making my business more valuable by so doing.
When I was insured.
Leslie, hey.
Is it? Do you think, Tokologo, and Mapalo and I had a conversation about in a different podcast, do you see the value of insurance in creating a legacy?
Definitely, yeah.
Explain it to us.
So I mean that's why everything is insured with us.
Yeah.
So Christopher, everyone has insurance, and every single thing is insured, even our laptops, our phones, things like that. So it's rather, these things, you can be philosophical about them and say, you don't need it, you're paying, but the fact is the future is uncertain, and anything of value is always attached also to certainty. Nothing, so 100 Rand has value because you're certain that when you walk in Pick and Pay, it's going to buy food. You know that. So there's nothing that has value in life the way that doesn't have certainty tied to it. So to keep a business asset successful and productive, it needs to be certain. So that's why we've secured everything. And as far as legacy goes, when we die, which is gonna happen. So I even have death, like there's our shareholders agreement, there's like a full page on what happens if all of us die.
Yeah.
And it was an uncomfortable conversation to bring up, because people are like, are you saying I'm gonna die? And one of the guys is 60. Obviously he's gonna die first, that guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, probably. Not obviously, probably. If nothing happens, he'll die first of natural causes. And it was uncomfortable to talk about that, but we have to. We're not saying you're gonna die, but we have to plan for uncertainties.
I like that someone set you down about that.
Yeah. So we need to talk about uncertainties.
I failed at convincing you about that at some point.
You did, eh?
Yeah, I failed.
But I'm back.
My marketing skills are lost on you.
You succeeded in the long.
Yeah,
it was the long conversion. But so I do believe you can't build a legacy without certainty.
Okay. Do you both have wills? Do you have a will in place?
Not sure yet. I don't want to lie.
Tell me why.
Active. I don't know.
You must do it.
Yeah. When you cannot have one.
No, I have one.
With the people around you, multi-choice.
Yeah, you know what? But you know what? To be honest, it's about, and I think that's why you guys should really, Refiloe and Old Mutual must be together after this. And you're not selling it to him, but do these things. Also, I didn't do them because I thought about it. I did it because the environment I'm in, I'm working with older guys.
Demanded that you do it.
Yeah, they're more executive. They've done businesses before. So I walked into a structure that's already there.
Yeah.
And that's why all these things are in place.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you walked into a structure, you are putting
You're
a
building
structure.
one, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what I like about what you were saying, you are very concerned about your people. And those are the things that we need to think about. In that you've got and I'm not in any way trying to disengender you or change your gender. But you've got a motherly thing about how you are taking care of your business, where you are like, my people must be fine, like it you know, and maybe that's something we need to chat about offline. In that, not understanding, talking back to your quote around certainty and value, understanding that value that you bring to your business, understanding you speak a lot about the community. Part of the community is your family. If anything happens to you, that's the first people that are going to feel it, then your business, then the community, right? So that's why we talk about wills. And I think I'm going to take the opportunity to explain what a will does for you. So a will, basically, the way I normally explain it is it's a piece of paper that speaks for you when you no longer can. Right? So you can imagine, I mean, you're sitting here and maybe we impress you and you're like, Oscar, you can also come join. And then because I know these things, anything happens to you, if I'm one of those dodgy people, your legacy falls apart into the hands of just, you just didn't have the fortunate opportunity of walking into a structure. And I think that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because we hear that millennials, when they consider legacy, you are quite obsessive about your legacy. When I listen to your conversation, it's like, this is what I want to do and this is why I want to change the world. But then understanding that the pivotal role that you as the owner of the vision play in owning that legacy. You know what I mean? So part of your conversation, Lamachita, that you were mentioning, comes back to that. When you start working, and Mapalo says the minute you start earning an income, you have to have cover. And so the 25 people that you are employing, do they have cover? What is that cover? So it's about sitting with them and saying, let's sit down, let me help you. You need to have life cover, you need to have funeral cover, you need to have what's that other one, Mapalo? Dread disease and income cover, right? So even for you, like right now, it's like you might need to have income protection because you might fall ill and therefore the business cannot pay you, your own business. When you're putting those structures in place, it's going to be your own business, won't be able to pay you. Now what? And also the way I hear you talking about your business, you're going to think, I don't want to bleed my business whilst I'm recovering. And that's where, that comes in. I just sounded like such a mom right now. I do apologize.
Mommy
apologize. And I could see the millennials going, geez, she didn't tell us we're going to be like so deep. But like as in closing, I think, and I'm going to just bring it back to both of you, because you just met each other pretty much today. Yeah. What is the one thing that Tokologo mentioned just around risk that you think you're going to go and have a conversation with whoever is advising you at the moment?
I think value. You touch much on the value thing, So my value is has different interpretation from where I'm coming from or where I am in life. So with his breakdown in terms of value and making that example of 100 and whatever the case it may be. So I kind of took that thing away, which okay, now there's another task for me to educate myself.
Yeah, cool. Tokologo, what did you learn about bread? I'm joking. What did you learn from Refiloe?
Well, I love how he views his business as a food manufacturing business. Yes. And
definition
it's funny
is
enough,
everything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's a framework from where you think. So I didn't even think about it that way before he said it. I was like, okay, they're a bakery. But now I see him on a whole different league, that he can actually one day compete with Unilever. Because why is there only Unilever, for example? Yeah. And Procter & Gamble. And there are a few others that are trying. Like I know through Kasi brands, I've seen some brands come up there. But, the way he described his business, what he's trying to do, it's things I definitely wish I'd known earlier
Before you
as well.
started.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
well done on that, man.
He is like 2 years older than you, so it's okay. I'm kidding. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think what we learn is that these conversations take time. Like you said, you've been operating for 4 years. You've been from 2016 about 6 years, and depends what you walk into. So what's the first thing I want to lift out, which came out from you, is having the right people in your corner to guide you, and that is coaching. And so what we do as All Mutual is financial coaching. And so there are people that can sit with you. You don't have to worry and figure out insurance. An advisor does that for you. Number 2 is also being very clear about what is it that you do and your value to your business and how you can cover yourself. And number 3, which was my favorite, is how you can actually learn from each other. And that was really cool. So to Mapalo and her tribe, thank you very much for having us on your platform. And yeah, I think we're going to have more conversations going forward. Thanks, gents.